All right, a brief overview of Kaplan Meier survival analysis, and you see this statistic commonly used in randomized clinical trials. And the outcome of interest is time until event occurs. So that time component is really important. And if you think back to the module on RCTs, intention to treat comes in here as well, because you're using all information until, as I'll point out in this figure, data are censored for whatever reason. Could be if your outcome is mortality, someone has died and that's why they're censored, or they've dropped out of the study. And then a hazard ratio is the comparison of the event in one group versus another group. So that's your overall test statistic. There's a hot link here for if you want a lot more information. Again, you could take an entire course on this, but a nice article with far more information than you're going to get in these two slides. This is how they're shown, survival curve. So you've got the cumulative survival. Technically, this figure is not great. It should stop at 1 because that's 100% of your population. Unless we're creating new people, we don't have a 1.2. It really should stop at 1. So you've got everybody, and then over time, and this could be days or weeks, you see the survival function is, so what proportion of your population is alive, and then they censor off again for whatever reason, and you see that dropping off over time. This is just one group. If you're calculating a hazard ratio, you would have to have necessarily, because you've got a comparison of groups, at least 2 lines, 2 figures on this. All right, so what does it look like when you've got more and you're comparing groups? And this is a published paper looking at the association of 25-question geriatric locomotive function scale with all-cause mortality. So when you're seeing those decreases in this time, in these figures, the outcome here is mortality. So this figure's done beautifully. You start at 1. You can't start at more than 100% of your population. Again, your outcome of interest is time until the event occurs. So that axis is always your follow-up time. And in this case, in the upper part, the upper figure, we've got all participants. In the lower one, it's been restricted to aged 70 years and older. Your time period for the follow-up is in days, going from the initial where everyone's there at baseline at day 1, going through to 3,500 days, so quite a bit of follow-up in this cohort. Again, that hazard ratio would be comparing the event in one group versus another group. So it's a ratio, so you're comparing one versus another. In this case, you're seeing 3 different groups where you've got grade 1, 2, and 3 in the figure because they were divided up by different grades of the geriatric locomotive function scale. And you see for a big difference. So they all, again, everyone starts together, and you see over time, because this is a time-related variable, how that increase. So actually, if you were testing for a trend, you would have a significant trend line. The p-value in both cases is significant, even more so for the age 70 to over. So the greater severity, grade 3, fewer people alive at the end of the follow-up period. So this is what a Kaplan Meier survival curve looks like.